So I'm here with Monique and Jadwiga Julkowski, and they are the CEOs of the Crazy Horse Memorial, which you can see in the back here is an amazing, it's the largest mountain carving in the world. Ladies, thank you very much for being with me.
Thank you,
Thank you.
for being here.
So can you guys tell us a little bit, just first for people who maybe aren't familiar with the memorial and why it's here, why is this even happening?
Well, in 1948, Dad was asked by Henry Standing Bear to carve a memorial to one of their great chiefs. And they wrote letters back and forth for several years, and Dad decided to give up everything back east and come here and carve the mountain after he learned about the Native American people.
Very good. And why did he choose your dad?
Why was Dad chosen? He knew about Dad, Henry Standing Bear knew about Dad because he'd won first prize in New York World's Fair in 1939, and that he also knew that Dad worked with Gutzon Borglum on Mount Rushmore, and they did stories on that in the Rapid City Journal, and Henry Standing Bear read that, and that's how he got a hold of Dad.
Wonderful. So tell us, what's the idea? What did Chief Standing Bear want when he asked your dad to do this?
At first, they just wanted a mountain carved like Mount Rushmore to depict one of their great people. And as Dad and Henry got to know each other, the dream grew, and not just a mountain carving, but a university and a museum and a medical training center. So because the mountain carving, although it's great and grand, what it really needs to represent is a university that gives young people knowledge. And Dad and Mother loved young people and knowledge, and Dad said that they'll build universities anywhere, but they'll build one here because of that mountain carving.
Huh. And so tell us a little bit about the university. What's going on there? Who comes to the university? What do they learn?
Well, the university was started 10 years ago, and we have students that come from all over the nation, Native American. We gear towards Native American students. They can study anything for freshman year. They need to be graduated from high school. Freshman year, they can do math, English, history, psychology, and then they'd have time life management skills that they learn at the same time. And that's an 8-week course that they do here, but they get a full semester of credit. That can go anywhere in the United States because it's a partnership with the University of South Dakota. Oh. And so they have their credits that can go anywhere. We've had them go to Alaska and Arizona, down Tennessee, so they're everywhere.
Wow.
So.
One of the things I find most interesting about this memorial, and one of my colleagues, Sam Antonio, interviewed your mother, Ruth, about 8 years ago, and we were all intrigued by the fact that there's no state or federal money involved in this. Could you tell us about why that is, and how do you pay for this then?
Well, the admission fee that we charge at the gate, and then donations from private enterprises or people. And we don't, because Dad worked at Mount Rushmore and he saw the trouble that Gutzon had to go through to raise money to carve the mountain. And he just felt that there would be too many strings attached and a lot of red tape. And that the mountain being carved here, that the American people should carve it.
And so has that worked? Have the American people put up the money that's needed to make this happen?
I think it has, and everybody shows more and more interest every year, and they are willing to help with scholarships, and they're willing to help with items in the museum. We have 11,000 pieces of items in our museum, and the majority of them have been donated because people think that our museum is a safe place and the correct place for those artifacts to be. So I do believe that they have the idea and the belief that Crazy Horse is something that is much bigger than one family, much bigger than one person, that is going to represent a wonderful culture.
And so is it a permanent policy that the government will never fund this? This will always be a project just of the American people?
There'll be no billboards and no government money. That we're sure of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Very good. And tell us a little bit about the project. I mean, you can see the face up there. That's 87 feet tall, by the way. It's hard to get a sense of it from here, but that's humongous. When is it going to be finished? What's left to do?
Well, for the next 7 to 12 years, we'll carve Crazy Horse's hand, part of his forearm, part of the horse's mane, and at the same time we're working on the top of Crazy Horse's head and his hairline. And when that part's done, we'll be just starting his right shoulder. That's in the next 7 to 12 years. And we don't plan out really far in advance because we have to pay attention to those seam lines and how we're going to get to work and how you take the rock off and if we need to dowel. So that's that's our short-term plan.
And before we started, we were talking a little bit. You have, like, how many people come here every year to see this going on?
Over 1 million people every year, which is amazing to us.
And they come from where? What kind of people are they? You mentioned some natives come here also.
A number of Native people, a number of Native tribes that do support us through scholarships and items like that. We also have a lot of Asian tours, German tours. The German people are absolutely fascinated with the Native American culture. When they come, they stay for a long time, and we really appreciate that. But they're from all over the country and all over the world. We have every state in the Union that's represented in our mail list, and 23 foreign countries. So they all know about it.
Wow. And are you guys seeing growth, or more and more people coming and getting involved over the years?
It gets, sometimes it stays even, and sometimes we have a little more. And it'd be nice to have them spread out through the winter and summer. Because the biggest job the only difference between my job in the summer and the winter is you need to say excuse me a lot more when you want to get through the doors in the summer.
Okay. I see. And so what is the message that your dad and that the Native leaders who were involved in this, what is the message that they wanted people to leave here with? Was there some kind of takeaway they should leave with?
Well, the mountain carving, it's a carving, and my lands are where my dead lie buried. That is the story that a trader asked Crazy Horse where his lands were, and he pointed over his horse's head and said, "My lands are where my dead lie buried." But the mountain carving really is the focal point for a university and a museum. And the young people that come here and learn and then take this away with them, it gives them so many choices. I mean, it is a place where people come and learn, and then they can go on in their walks of life. So Crazy Horse is just a place to make things better and to help people learn stuff. It's an American Indian story. It's an American story. It's a family story. It gives people belief that they can do anything that they want to if they're willing to try and work at it. And if you stay the course, just about anything is possible. So there's so much that Crazy Horse represents as far as not giving up and doing the right thing and helping the world around you.
And it really has become kind of a family project in a sense too. We were talking earlier, you said some of the grandchildren are even involved now. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, two of our nephews work on the mountain. They work with Monique on the mountain up there, and then one of my daughter and her niece, she works with Monique on archiving the photographs and keeping track of how the progress goes ahead. And so down the road, 50 years from now, somebody can learn and know what happened here. Leanne helps greatly with that project too, and there's just so many people involved to tell the story and just keep telling it after we're gone.
And anything else that I didn't ask about that you guys want to mention or talk about?
We have family members, but we also have people that have worked with us for 35 years, 16, 20, and the people that work with us have so much heart into the work that they do here that we are never alone. And it's not just the family, but it's the staff and the leadership here that we're not alone. It's not just the family. It takes us all, and we have a beautiful bunch of people with heart that work with us.